If not stopped, Iran could produce
Hello, everyone. This is another Edmonton-Blender-Artists meetup. Welcome. So I'd start with a bit of a explanation of what I'm doing here and what's going on and what Blender is. It is a free and open source 3D animation modeling software. It has many uses and capabilities, from 3D modeling and animating to 2D modeling and animating, video editing, image editing, storyboarding, gaming models and worlds, and more. Who am I? I'm Chris. I'm from Edmonton, and I'm a visual music artist and producer. I'm a little bit hearing impaired. So if you pop in, anyone is welcome. But, if you say stuff and I don't answer properly, just repeat and yell and say what you got to say. It's all good. And I'm the creator of this meetup, Edmonton-Blender-Artists. And I'm managing it on Meetup and trying to guide this group. And I'm trying to host it about once a month or so. And why are we here? Is just to meet people, I love Blender and I have passion for it, and I'm always looking for people who feel the same way about it, or even people who have slightly heard of it and they want to learn. Create this group for people to come here in Edmonton, especially, and just kind of share their passions and have some time for showing and telling. Show their work and their projects, and also teach each other what we know. And for the new people, also help them out and show them the way. I'm added a meetup group that it's a date far in the future, but I'm looking to collect at least 10 people around who are interested in Blender, who've heard about it, but they don't know anything, and they just want to have a bit of a guidance through it and a basic kind of overview of it. So that one is in meetup.com as well. And if I get enough people interested, I will schedule that for a date where it works for everybody. And we'll go through the very basics, and I'll hang out, and the moment you have a question, I can help you through every single question you have, and we can just get the basic overview of how it works. And I want to do that on a regular basis, and I'm going to keep putting that out there to find people, because when I first learned of Blender, the moment I downloaded it and opened it, I was like, whoa, what's going on here? There's a lot going on here. It seems overwhelming at first, and I took a couple courses, and that helped me dramatically. And I highly recommend, you can go to like udemy.com and find courses like that. But I think it's nice to have someone, who can just answer your question right off the bat and guide you through this stuff. And yeah, that's what I want to make the Edmonton Blender meetup about, is just helping people out and sharing that passion and coming together and meeting people and socializing and building a bit of a community around it. And maybe, people can collaborate down the road, there's no rules or anything about that. You just kind of come here and meet each other. And if you want to work on the project together, start building a project together, you're more than welcome to do that, and maybe even show it here or show it somewhere else, whatever. Just friendly kind of community kind of thing going on here. And the meetup plan, I'm trying to have a structure to it. As I'm doing right now, I'm just talking and kind of doing the same thing I do every time here, just to let time go by, see if anyone shows up, and if they're interested in hanging out, and kind of give the plan and the 0 to 10 minutes. That's what I'm doing right now. And then if anyone shows up who is a newbie, we'll try to like walk you through any questions you have and do that. And then if anyone shows up, we can talk for the next hour after that and about what they want to talk about and show and tell and discuss whatever. And it's just a free and open situation. And then at the end, I'm going to do the old McDonald project, and I'm going to do it this time. I get lost in conversation, and I didn't do it last time, but I want to keep working with that. So I'm going to try to remember to do that this time. And that's about it. Content, like these streams, I do them. They're going on YouTube and all that. And then, there's going to be a Telegram. There is a Telegram chat, and if anyone's interested in that, it's there. It's just like somewhere where people can go and chat with each other and, ask for help when they need it. And meetup.com is where like I organize these meetups, and you can find the chat links in there. You can find the group there. And for all this meetup stuff, if you ever, you see what's going on here and you're like, hey, I have something I want to do, something I want to talk about, just send me a message and we can make the next meetup about what you want it to be about, and I'll host it and you can go nuts. And as long as it's about Blender, you can go on for 1 to 2 hours about it, and I'll host it, and it can be about what you want it to be about, and the sky's the limit on that. So we can also have, like, down the road, I'm not jumping in this anytime soon, but if we build a decent community, I can make a website and kind of have a hub for people to go to who are like industry professionals looking for talent to, locally or even more remotely and abroad, to scout out people who have talents within Blender and 3D animation and all that stuff, to kind of find work and network that way. But that's just a side idea, and I will do it if there's enough interest in that. So anyways, we'll see what's going on here. I see David's back. Welcome, David. I'll say, I think I can add you this. Right? Are they there? How's it going?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How's it going?
Pretty good. Just, very, very cold in Edmonton. You can tell that we're actually locals because that's there. But I was thinking of posting a link to the meetup for this on the Edmonton tech artist community. Like, it's a Discord. I think it's within the reason of advertisements, because generally, I understand why people on certain sites don't want, just random advertisements, but I think it would be good there, and that might help bring some more people out there, because Blender is pretty popular with most people right now, which is as good and as it should be.
This is another meetup group or another Facebook group or something like that you're talking about?
It's a Discord I stumbled upon when I went to an anime convention in Edmonton.
Oh yeah. And
I'm going to there it's about animation, so you're gonna get people from all walks of things there. But it's also share and probably there's decent overlap.
Yeah.
Of between that group and this one, and I'll be as polite and say hey, I think this is of interest to people. I am here. So far there's been no asks for credit cards or anything. It's just sort of a chance for people who are interested in this stuff to meet up online.
Yeah, it's 100% genuine, and I'm not holding any copyright over this or anything. You can absolutely go nuts and share the link to this, and if you can find any interest anywhere. And I'm trying to keep it local to Edmonton, Alberta, and Canada. I'm trying to keep it within that realm, and I've had other people come in who jumped in from America and all that stuff, and they're more than welcome to. But if you can specifically, anywhere you want to send the link and try to get people involved for sure.
Okay, that's just generally always things. I'll figure out how to post the nice explainer on that thing there, but it's.
I think on Meetup you can You can find like different there's
Yep.
a share links and all that for the event or the group or the
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's also just trying to find different uh like people and different interests, because like uh used to be that like it was just like if you're trying to do this professionally, Maya was just the assumed default, and now it's like Maya is still probably the preference, but it's no longer an open and shut case, because a lot of places just don't want to be like, oh, do I pay this much for this software there? And certainly, I still do understand why a university course would prefer having everything in a very standardized software, because sometimes Blender changes, and then you're just really, really annoyed at one of the API changes, and you're just like,
Yeah. And you're saying Maya right now? What's Maya?
Maya is by Autodesk. It is probably the biggest animation software in the world. Um, it is a software as a subscription. I have used it on occasion. I do sincerely prefer Blender over it, but there are some very nice things with that. However, if you're ever looking to work in the industry, the best program to use is the
Is
one that you
Maya.
will get paid for. Is the one you get
Yeah.
paid for. They
Well, it's
tell you
interesting
to.
because uh or Unreal Engine has become such a popular thing for people to use too. But you're saying Autodesk Maya is like the industry standard right now?
Yeah, at this time, it's definitely there's been some very good work in trying to get these programs to all cooperate with each other,
Yeah.
because these things are, and often like the biggest thing with the reason companies choose Maya is that like they have like 20 years of pipelines built up. So even if Blender was better in one-to-one across every single thing, you're not going to throw away 20 years of know-how for something that might be like 10% better.
What do you think about so like I just showed on the screen here that when you go into Blender and you go to export, like
Yep.
Blender has a variety of different exports, and is that
Yep.
a way to work cross-platform? Is like you could make something in Blender and then you could export it as
Oh,
one of these and then bring it into Maya kind of thing?
oh yeah, like most of these formats will be somewhat on some level absorbable by Maya. There's unfortunately sometimes you're going to have to do some corrections about like, oh, this system has everything in X, has Z being the up axis instead of the back axis, and that
Yeah.
sometimes does happen. Like if you've ever taken an Unreal rig, you'll see that the bones are for some reason like weirdly placed. That's just due to how they wrote the engine,
Mm-hmm.
which we did get Tim Sweeney to apologize for, which I feel is like very good. Um,
Is that like when you export it, like no
yeah.
matter what file export, it's always screwed up that way?
They are getting better at it, but yes,
Yeah.
there is kind of an assumption of they're screwed up until proven otherwise. But
Yeah.
right there has been a push for OpenUSD, which is supposed to solve all these problems. And like there's a lot of really big players in the industry like Nvidia and Apple and Autodesk trying to make this the new standard, because FBX, the thing that most things there, it is technically
Yeah,
owned
I
by
use that. I
Autodesk.
use that very often for sure.
Yes,
FBX is my favorite one.
it's an amazing program in that it's kind of a black box. No one really knows how it works anymore because everyone who wrote it is gone. But for some reason, we have not developed a better version of it. So there's definitely a lot of interest in replacing that.
Hmm.
Alembic was an attempt to do that. That's often used for certain things, but it's just difficult because certain things every program will agree on about like or it's not that hard to convert, because if you just know uh, like the vertices points, they'll just
Yeah.
calculate it in their system, convert it. Not that difficult. But when you have a lot of like small like decisions that aren't always clear in the file, that's when you sometimes get your guy coming in at like 90 degrees, and you're like, why is he walking on the wall? Like
Drive you nuts. Yeah.
it, it was always amazing to me when I learned that like no, if you can figure out how to solve these problems, like they'll be very happy about that, because
Hmm.
you know, it is a technology. It is the technology. It is not you, which is very shocking because you'd think someone would have figured this out in the last 20 years of these programs, but we've had
Yeah,
30
I'm
different ways
definitely
that
not.
haven't worked.
Yeah, I'm definitely not that deep into understanding the code base and all that to
Hmm.
understand that. I just know export FBX, and I find it works well in Mixamo.com.
Hmm.
Um, and then
Hmm.
the GLITF or whatever it is,
Yep.
that one
Yep.
works really good for other ones.
Yep.
Especially that one specifically is very well for not only exporting the model but the material with the
Hmm.
model kind of thing. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. They all have their kind of point and purpose, and like GLTF is like really good for the web. It's not so good if you want to edit things. That's
Hmm.
like one of the weak points. Like uh, there, but it's like if you've got a finished thing, it's like super performant, runs online, really nice. It's like it. I hope at some point, like maybe I have to do this because then it's just like what all the exports do roughly. You know, not the perfect scientific definition of all what they all are for, but just kind of like a use this when you need this, use this when you need this. You know,
Yeah.
obviously there will be exceptions, but if you're at the point of an exceptions, then the basic guide has
And
already
that's
done its purpose.
and that's why I want to create the this meetup, right? Is
Yeah, yeah,
because everyone has different knowledge
yeah.
understandings for different reasons, and it's just like, yeah, it's so much easier to just have that one person to be like, here, this is the answer, you know. Oh, you're trying to do that, I understand, this is how you do it. It's because there's so many different avenues within Blender and the different file types and the
Yep.
all the different pipelines for like from animation
Yeah.
to modeling
Hmm.
to geonodes and all that stuff, and it's I don't know. I enjoy the pursuit of trying to learn all about that, and I take a course here, a course there, and whatnot. But it's very nice to also have a community of people who can help guide you and teach you, and just sometimes you might not want to go down the rabbit hole of should I use an FBX or a GTIFS or a OBJ or whatever.
Yep.
It's just better to be like, I'm trying to do this. How do I do it? Please, someone tell me.
Yeah, and it's definitely there are there's a lot of like weird stumbling points that like once like um if you can find where the stumbling stone is, maybe you can't fully remove the rock, but you can at least tell people, hey, watch out.
Yeah, for sure. Cool,
Hmm.
man. So, do you follow the 3D animation community? You seem like you follow it pretty broadly and pretty in depth.
Uh,
Are you trying to are you going beyond Blender and stuff like that too, or are you like is there
I'm
like do you
currently
just read or just watch YouTube videos or are you
a,
connected with people?
a combination of two. Like I do know quite a few people, not really on like on a first name basis, but like I'm aware of their work. They're aware of my work. Maybe at some point we'll cross over. Like I can, probably point people who want to learn things in certain directions, but
Hmm.
it's not like I can call up X, Y, or Z person and like, please solve this problem. It's internet connections are kind of weird like that. Of you like, I have a Rolodex, but they don't owe me anything. Would probably be how I put it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
especially the more I don't know if the word is prestigious, but the more the higher up in the chain it is, yeah,
Yeah.
there's certain Blender artists and people within that industry that I'm sure they have like a
Yeah.
more than 1,000 inquiries a day, and they got to pick and choose.
Yeah. I can tell you who to ask. If they tell you they're not interested, then like
Yeah,
that is their
that's
choice, and things there. But like I'll put you on to like who should be who you should ask about X, Y, or Z inquiry because
cool.
that's you do pick this up by just like kind of being around and being persistent and just kind of taking notes of, oh, I think this person's really good on this. I think this person's really good on this. And some people are going to be like, okay, nope, I will not share anything. That's how I make money. And other people are like, okay, here's how I do it. And no judgment on either decision. It's just one of those things of, I think you can ask anyone, and if they want to tell, that's up to them, and if they don't want to tell, that's also a perfectly fine decision.
Yeah, and there's people. What's his name? The guy from Australia, the
Blender
Blender guy
Guru.
from. Yeah, they so JT Nelson popped in the first couple, and he's one of like the founders of Blender, and like he's part of like the actual core community there. And yeah, he had like his uneasiness about that Blender Guru guy, because like it's weird because Blender is an open source software and it's about being free for everyone, and then Blender Guru is really good and he offers a lot of free stuff, but he's also kind of monetizing it and trying to be profitable about it, and to each their own. And I understand why everyone's got to make their bread, right? But yeah, it's a weird balance you got to have.
Yeah, and there is always, like, no matter how much you like any YouTube personality, never lose that track of the fact that they are in fact a YouTube personality.
Yeah, trying to make money.
Yep,
Yeah.
and that's nothing wrong with that. I spend a lot of my time making money.
Yeah, we all try. It's the way the world goes. Yeah.
I mean, hopefully my employers don't catch this video, but I am currently I'm still employed, but I'm like, well, let's see if I can get something slightly better than what I'm doing right now. Ideally in the 3D space.
Yeah, you're. I can't remember you told me before, but yeah, you're doing something outside of that, right?
Oh yeah, and it's but it's a fine company there, but you're also just like I look at the Blender market sale and I look at the totals, and then I have to make some decisions about which ones I really want and which ones I only kind of want, and it would be just so much easier to just throw money at the problem and not think.
Yeah. How if you were to make a career in the 3D animation world, like how would what would you be aiming to do? Like modeling or animation, or what do you think would be the path?
Probably for me right now is because I do a lot of retargeting on the various sign languages, and there are now a lot of people in the space just saying how about we do this properly, we do it once, we get everything cleaned up and ready to go so that people can use it for whatever, and then we can go to the next stage of okay, this needs to be can we make models that actually can generate the word, like the sentences, which is a different set of problems, but there that would probably be the most likely one, but it is also just an issue of it's an unproven technology. So if you're getting hired in this field, it's all very speculative. But
and we definitely talked about what you're doing, and I made my PC able to work on this stream, so we can look at it afterwards. But in terms of making it like a career path, would you make it for instructional videos on how to learn ASL, or what would be the
I think I could team up with people to do that, but right now it's a technology that does need other cooperators to go further.
But is that the idea? Is to be educational, to teach people ASL or communicate ASL for
goal is to basically get Google Translate, which somewhat works online. It's not perfect. You really notice how the shortcomings of that program when you try to communicate with it. But if we could just have it running of okay, translate this into that and have your avatar of choice doing that, it would be wrong on a lot of occasions, but it would still Google Translate has still opened the world up to a lot of people and a lot of opportunities. So that's my goal.
Ultimate goal is have not even API, you offer your code on GitHub, and then you could integrate it with Google Translate. And so when people try to translate English, Japanese, or any language in the world, there could be some sort of visual that could show you ASL is what you're trying to do.
Yep.
That's
and
really
ideally
cool,
then expand out to the other side.
That's awesome. Very awesome. Yeah, very awesome.
We hope it works, because there's always the question of how Spanish and English, the models we have for them are quite decent. They're not perfect, but they're you're getting pretty close. There is a question of how close is good enough, and like, unfortunately, we're not going to know this until we actually go and build them, which is like, man, I kind of wish I could just like scratch the lottery ticket, see like, actually this is only going to translate 30% of this, and be like, okay, let's come back to this in 10 years. But it's one of those. It's an excuse to learn Blender, an excuse to develop a bunch of skills, even if it doesn't work.
Really cool,
But
man.
it's that's where I see like why I want my project to end. We don't know if the models end up, or like the translations would end up being of any good. So I always have to kind of caution people of, yes, this is the goal. We might fall short of that goal.
I hope it works out for you in the end, man. It's a very unique path you're choosing for yourself, and it's important though. Like that's a huge important development for the future of humanity. Because I myself am a hearing impaired person. I haven't learned ASL or anything. I wear hearing aids, but and I do pretty well in the real world. But I think there's even in Edmonton we have it's not called the School of the Deaf, but I can't remember what it's called. The main one there on 119th Street or something like that. Yeah, it's like it's a whole school there, and there's a lot of people who are born like completely deaf, right? And that's the way they speak.
And it's one of those things of right now this technology was basically a pipe dream in 2020. Now other people are starting to move in the place there, so I feel at least vindicated on, yes, this was worth like this like was a crazy idea at the time, but technology was going to get there. There is still a lot of open questions of just how good the technology can even be, and even if the technology gets good, AI has a bit of a double-edged sword in the sense of people like AI when it's doing things they like, but absolutely hate, loathe, and despise getting it in the place of something else. And that's there's the question is, will the utility of what this can create be worth enough to be acceptable in that place? And once again, there's an unfortunate truth of, you can speculate 1,000 ways to Sunday about how this will play out. You just kind of have to build the thing to see whether it's like, turns out we didn't get the facial animations are just not good enough to handle the grammar and the non-manual expressions. So it just doesn't work. And I'm like, okay, maybe try again in 10 years. And that's
it can absolutely get there. It's just a matter of assembling enough people to you earlier said you said we. Are you working on with other people, or is it just you right now?
I have some people who have helped out on occasions, and I've got like a little I hope to have to give thanks to them at when it's finally fully when it's more online, where I feel like, okay, I have gone from pushing this to across the finish line, and there's a never-ending finish lines, but it would be I do have kind of lists of people who have helped me out on various things, and sometimes it's also just auto rig pro guy, you don't know who I am, but I bought your product and thank you so much. This project literally would not have happened without you. Massive W to you. I'm gonna go buy your product again just to have a second copy.
There you go.
And there is always just keeping in track of things there, but I have a friend who used to work at Amazon, is now being a teacher, and he just gives me some good Python advice, which is also just sometimes you just need someone to point you in the right direction of, why don't you use this instead? And I'm like, there's a word for that. I'm not having to invent all these things from first principles anymore, because it's just, if you know data and you're so there's in terms of legal responsibility, it is me, but in terms of people who have helped out, there is a lot of people. There are some people from NVIDIA. No, I have not been sponsored by them. Man, I wish they'd told me to ditch this project and invest in their stocks and then do the project. That would have been great. But that's neither here nor there. But
No
it's
official sponsorship, but there's
I
hope.
mean, I'll still take kind words and people just keeping me in mind because it's like now that there are other people there, I think it's going to be probably having to be a large coordination of people to just come together with a, hey guys, I have this trick that solves this problem, and taking it from a giant problem into a bunch of smaller problems that are much easier to solve, but maybe less impressive. You know, oftentimes in science journalism, there'll always be like person cured cancer in like things there, and then you read the subtext of in this type of by in mice, da 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 da, and people will just read the headlines and not understand like no, what they're doing is still very good. It's just incremental and smaller than the headlines will have you believe, and there's nothing wrong with solving the incremental steps.
Dude,
Because
that's the beginning of it. You
yeah,
plant a seed and you water it and you pick the dead leaves and you help it grow to a giant tree over time, right? And as long as you focus and you're passionate about it and you continue on, you will succeed. And I think you have a genuine and important project you're working on for sure, man. And it's really cool to see you incorporated that into Blender and just 3D animation as
yeah,
well. And I can picture it with everything. You could just integrate it in everything, right? Like they have like whatever media
mhm,
corporation on the TV, they have the person doing the ASL on the side, right? You
mhm,
could have once you build the framework and the fundamental
mhm,
base for that, you can integrate that into everything from Google Translate to movies or
yeah,
television shows, and it can be an option where
and
that translation could be on. And you could change the character from like a dog to a
that's
cat to a human to a girl to a man to whatever you
yeah.
want, right? Yeah, you can
We'd
do all
still
sorts of
have
stuff
to
like
keep the level of fingers the same. I'm pretty sure, though. That's always one of those things of like,
that.
um, just like
Yeah, there would be the
there
basic
are some
fundamentals there, but you would what
yeah
I'm saying is like yeah, like if you had
yeah
like some children who were
yeah
deaf that needed it, right? Like you could make it like a cute
yep
character that they enjoyed watching, kind of thing.
yeah yeah, and there's definitely like there's the big version of like the what I call the maximalist version of this that I still believe in after all this time, and like sometimes I'll be after a few like when something that seemed easy and it just doesn't work and you're like, okay, this worked on the whiteboard, why is it not working here? I do sometimes go back to the like, okay, listen, end of the day, if you can make this whatever character you want, you don't have to worry too much about making the most appealing person because they'll just swap it out for whoever they want. And maybe
Yeah,
they'll
it's
be more
just you.
forgiving if Harry Potter makes language mistakes than they will be of you. And that's like kind of one of the gambles is that like if people get the choice of their representation, they'll be more forgiving of the technology as it grows.
Absolutely, yeah. You just all you're building is the framework, right? And
Yeah.
once you have the framework and it's perfected, then yeah, you can throw a
Yeah.
skin or a layer on top of that, no matter
I
what your desire is. You could have like a
yeah.
customization kind of setting or framework where you can make it anything.
Yeah.
But as long as
Yeah.
you have that fundamental development there, once you have that,
Yeah.
it can be API'd and integrated in anything.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the things I'm trying to see Cascadeur is like not Blender, but it's a like animation software that does AI in betweening. I'm gonna be trying to see if I can reconstruct what I've got in there, um, because if I can get the AI in betweening, that makes the transition from word to word a little bit easier. And like the next on the list is seeing like, okay, you've got all these open pose models that can like I know AI animation is like not generally not the most positively seen thing in the artistic community at the moment, but I'm like, okay, if I can get the motions into the AI, that would be at least interesting to say like, okay, if AI rendering layer is what you want, here's how you can take this from Blender to there. Still, like, I don't know how much work that is because uh, the AI stuff, like there's so much happening there, but also it's like I like my models. I like my three-dimensional procedural systems. I find typing a prompt into anything just like really like a weird way of working.
Yeah, well, it's I 100% believe we should use AI, and it's a helpful tool, but keeping it a tool and not completely replacing us is what's important. And
Yeah.
yeah, I have fun with it. I use Meshy.ai. I think we talked about this before.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's you can prompt something and you can tell it, but it's like you could have like, I'm going to say this and I want this, and then you prompt it. It'll come up with something really like surprisingly cool, but it's never anything like you were trying to do. It's so that's kind of what you're doing is like, I'm gonna prompt this for something I'm looking for, and it's gonna come up with something completely out of my imagination, but it'll be kind of like what I'm looking for. You know, it's
Yeah, and like if if we can get said pieces, and the answer might be this will go, the little sign bot will sign out every single pose it can in order. Then you put your prompt so it looks like however you want it to look like. It will constantly do this. Try to be very clear on having whatever ends up happening, because the people who like practicing with the AI models, like they tend to get much better than the people who just do it once, where it's like, for me, it's a problem to solve of like, works or does not work. And that's I hope that if we create enough options, eventually one of them will be good enough to justify all of them, because with any emerging technology, there's always like, you have ideas of how it's going to play out, but there's also just a level of, well, the audience wanted it like this, and you're like, okay, I guess let's go do it like that then.
yeah, and like you can see right now, this little guy walking. This would take like, so if I wanted to on my own create a model like this and then animate it, would take what, like a minimum 6 hours minimum,
I
give or take, to like properly structure it and texture it and then animate it. Like that would take like, a good amount of time. But with like Meshy.ai, you can do that with a prompt and then animate it within 5 minutes. And that's a very useful tool, especially if you're doing something like ASL, where you don't need something uniquely created by an artist. You just need a humanoid person with the fingers, and you want to make it look a specific way for a specific culture or specific people or whatever. Right?
And like that's ideally the hope, and there are just a lot of things that like I do just kind of have we have to build it to know, because every joke is funny until you say it out loud and you're like, oh, that joke actually sucks.
You got tested a couple times.
Yeah, and if we were no one if it were just a matter of like the logic working out, we'd all write bestsellers. We just no one would write anything less than a bestseller. But sometimes it's like, oh, that just doesn't happen that way. Oh dear. So
you gotta adapt.
How's your music video stuff going?
I never stop. I try not to make the Blender meetups about me, but I'm constantly working on stuff.
Nice.
My big thing, and I find it very an interesting challenge with Blender is I'm learning geonodes, and I'm trying to go deeper into learning geonodes, and that to me like unlocks the full potential of
Mhm.
creating music videos, because especially with music videos, I want the music and the video to interact with itself. And
Uh,
when
did you
you
want?
you, you automate the
Mhm.
so let's say you got a electronic music video, you have the kick drum, the
Mhm.
snare, and you have whatever, like four other tracks of music.
Mhm.
You can animate you can animate anything in Blender, and you can,
Mhm.
if you take your song that you're making and then you export kick drum, snare drum,
Mhm.
and then other layers, you can take that audio file that is separated and then drop it in a Blender, and then you can make the animation to that specific audio in that part of the song. And
Mhm.
the sky's the limit on that. You can, you can make it change color, you can make it scale, you can make it do all sorts of things. And then when you add a geonode to that, you can take a particle and you can spread it and make fractals, or
Oh yeah.
you can, the sky's the limit of your imagination. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to perfect in my understanding of Blender, is trying to
Mhm.
make the audio affect the visual in Blender. And then my favorite way of doing that is you do that for a variety of different shapes, images, and then
Mhm.
from there you render it, and then you can go and you can take, your 5 layers of renders and then bring that into Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere,
Mhm.
and you
Mhm.
can then cut that up and re-edit it. So
Mhm.
that's something I'm always working on to get better at. And yeah,
It's like it's.
Geonodes is like, I'm not a math guy, and I'm not really good at math at all. And but I understand the basics, and I'm learning more and more and
Yeah.
more about that. And yeah, there's some really cool stuff you can do to
I
really
wish
make amazing visuals.
GeoNodes was around when I was learning math, because I'm like, man, all this matrix stuff would have been made so much more sense if I'm like, oh, so this is why I need to learn what this stuff is, as opposed to, I mean, I know on some level that's how you calculate computer graphics.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
like right now, it's like I can show it on the screen where it's just, yeah, you have your geonodes, and like it's, I can't do anything specific right now, but there's, a million nodes, and you can,
mhm,
it's amazing, because when you take all these nodes and you
mhm.
connect them together, and you can make a giant map. Like I follow someone online who's explaining that as Endril or something like that. Um, See if I can open one of his files. Um, it's both between geonodes and procedural texturing.
Mhm.
And let me see here. Blending procedural texturing. So this one,
Ooh,
world
ooh,
builder.
I think I found something I
So
remembered, and I think I finally figured out where it is. It's by give me 1 second.
yeah, and I'll just talk as I'm showing this. So
Go for
um, Endros is teaching us how to make. This is just, there's no images, I haven't modeled this in Blender, but this is just a structure created through the math of organizing the nodes. This right now, it's in displacement. So if I go in here, and you can see the complexity of organizing this stuff. But when you think of this is all just math.
it. Hmm.
Every node is just some sort of combination of math that makes these shapes and these colors. And he's showing us how to make a city out of this, right? And it's
Nice.
you go into here where I'm in the main layout of Blender, and it's like, oh, I'm just gonna like make a cube, and you can make a cube that way, right? And you can you can make your cube do a variety of things, and you can sorry, you can.
I sent. I'm not sure if you're able to see the private chats, but I sent like Polyford has an auto visualizer masterclass. I haven't taken it. It's on one of those. I have it written down on the courses to take. I intend to take it at some point, but it's just one of those. It doesn't solve the problem right at this moment, so wait until it does.
So you're gonna go here.
Yeah.
Audio visual masterclass. That's interesting. So this is
Yeah.
on teachable.com.
Okay, Teachable. Yeah. So like haven't
In the
taken
Audio
it.
Visualizer Masterclass, you will learn how to make highly
Can you hear that?
customizable, pre-rendered
I can.
audio reactive
You can.
Yep.
Okay.
animations
sure.
in Blender. This course is made for every skill level, from beginner all the way to advanced.
See,
And the way I've
that's
done this is
exactly
that
what
I've
I'm trying to
structured
make.
it into 3 modules, and you get access to all of them at once. First, we have the beginner-friendly foundation module, where I introduce you to Blender, we make our own startup file, and we make some music in Reason 13 if you want to try that. When making audio visualizers, I found it to be a lot easier if you have created the audio file yourself. Because then you can, for example, export all the notes as MIDI files, you can make your own sheet music, or you can export every instrument separately as stems, which can be really powerful. So in the first module, we lay the foundation for making audio visualizers.
Very
And then
cool.
in the second
I don't
module of
wanna
the
watch
hit the
whole thing
ground.
right now, but like I'm gonna save this. I'm definitely gonna look into this. Thank you very
yeah.
much for that.
When I say like I have a big Rolodex, this is basically like do I know Polyford? No, but it's nice to like you just kind of keep track of these people and like, oh, this is cool. And sometimes it's like it's always one of the cool things about Blender is because of how approachable it is. It's, hey, check this person out. Sometimes that ends up being really good for people. And at worst case, it's like, oh, I'm not interested in that. And you're like, sometimes you win. And the worst case, you don't really even lose. So
Absolutely. Yeah, and he's using that's
I think Da Vinci.
no, it's oh, maybe it is DaVinci. Yeah, it is DaVinci. Huh? So it looks like Final Cut Pro. They have the same kind of situation for using color settings.
Yep.
I'm just gonna take a quick break here.
Yep.
And I'll be back in a second. All right.
As well, I'll be back shortly. Yep. Welcome back.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty
Had to
good,
get a
pretty
coffee. Had to go to the washroom. So, is there anything else you'd like? I actually really appreciate this. I am 100% going to probably enroll in this. I'm currently taking another course, but and actually I'll show that course here. It's again, I showed that little brief thing about the geonodes there, and where is it?
I've had to slow down on buying courses because buying courses is so much easier than taking them. Like,
I've become very like I'm OCD about it. I
Good.
have I use Apple reminders, and it's like I make sure I do this every day. But I get that right, and my rule is I only take one course at a time.
the way you gotta go,
And you got to do it like I try to do it at least I try to do it every day, but at least be consistent. Some days obviously it's impossible, but
Oh yeah,
other
yeah.
days.
It's the way to do
I
anything.
I took I'm working on this one right now. It's
It's a good one.
Geonodes for Blender. You can find it at Canopy Games, Canopy.games, and it's this guy Endrel. If I look at it, wait, what's his 1 second here. Blender education. So this guy right here. I listened to a Blender Guru podcast, and he was interviewing this guy, and I'm trying to.
Oh, Arendelle. Yeah, he's really good.
He's awesome, man. He's a super
yeah.
like he offers so much for free, and I love it. And I'm working through like procedural texturing. I'm literally gonna try to watch over a long period of time every single one of his videos. And I'm just in the procedural texturing, but I'm really big, like I was talking about earlier, about understanding geonodes. And then I found upper into his geonodes section, the course, and this is the course he offers, and it's super good because it's, you're basically working on this one project, but it's teaching you all the fundamental elements and nodes of geonodes. And once you understand that, and you can really understand it deeply, then the world is yours, right? You can do so many things with it.
It's
So
also,
I highly recommend that for anybody who likes Blender.
Yeah, and if you're looking for like sort of what is coming down the pipe in terms of like when we get new geonodes, I shout out Cartesian Caramel because he's like sort of gives you a preview of what things are to come because we're getting a raycast node we hope in 5.1 or 5.2, which is apparently makes.
You want to put that in the private chat there?
Sure, give me 1 second to see if I can.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he has a site that is not on Twitter, and Twitter like currently now gatekeeps.
Yeah, Twitter's fine too. Whatever you got.
Yeah. Oh wait, he has a YouTube channel. He does a lot of things where like kind of more experimental on the. No, I wouldn't recommend him for beginners, but for if you want to know like sort of what's going to be happening in the near future.
Perfect.
Or like what sort, because sometimes Blender will give you these nodes and you're always just like, who the hell wanted this? Like, what does this even do? And then it's like, oh, okay, here's what you can do with this. Okay, yeah, okay, now it's cool. Because some people are like, just like, we recognize, how does a flower get me to a cake? I miss the intermediate steps of how flour turns into something delicious I can eat. Yeah, so it does like very advanced. I would not say like
It's like, what is this? Let's try this one. What is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that takes some time to make. That's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's useful to have both ends of both ends of the
I want to go. Like this is like that's why I created this meetup. Is I appreciate you being here and showing me this because I'm super passionate about Blender and I literally like the rest of my life I'm going to try to become the most knowledgeable and in-depth understanding. So yeah, the deeper we can go, the deeper we can go.
It is amazing that like the further you go, the more you're like, wait a minute, we could go even further here.
Well, it's
Hello
amazing,
everyone,
right?
welcome to today's video on how to make this magical shield effect using Blender shader nodes. So, let's get started. First, let's open up a brand new scene.
And the most amazing thing is like something like that probably took hours to figure out and they can, squash it into like a 6-minute and 30-second video. That's really important for teaching.
Yeah, there are definitely like certain people who like there'll be like a 3-hour stream and you're like, thank you for, I know you're fighting the good fight, and then like I feel bad when I'm like, okay, here's the 2-minute highlight of this video that's like the most important nugget they got to, and I'm like, I appreciate your hard work getting us to this 2-minute piece of things. I'm like, it's also sort of sometimes helps with understanding of like, to make 60 seconds of cool animation requires more than 60 seconds of work. You're not mad if it takes you an hour. It takes you an hour to do like a second of animation. You're basically on curve with the actual industry. So
exactly. And this is when this is actually when I want to look deeper into. I keep trying to play with the particle nodes and to make good grass.
Hello everyone,
and grass and hair, and it's the particle node is there's a lot going on in there for sure to like really understand how to like really control it and do exactly what you're trying to do.
Welcome to a short episode of
4 years ago. I'm not sure if they been updated since then, but that if the UI doesn't look the same and you can't follow along, that might just be a sign of okay, they've changed something about how this works. Try and find a more up-to-date tutorial because that is the best and worst thing about Blender is that there's always something new. There's always going to be someone coming up with some crazy new technique.
Oh, and he's making this grass not with the particle node, he's making with geonodes. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a geonodes guy. Like,
very cool.
Some people will solve their problems with Python. Some people will solve it with a pen and paper, and everyone's got their own like little different ways of how they think what they think the best and easiest way to get something done is. So it is also just very interesting to see.
It's amazing. You can basically make anything out of it, and again, for people, if anyone else is watching, it's just math, right? Like every node he's putting together, they each represent control over a specific amount of math, and if you connect them in certain ways, you can basically create anything, right? And it's more efficient too if you do it properly. If you don't know what you're doing, you can blow up your computer and crash Blender. But if you know what you're doing, it's actually a more efficient way of creating a variety of different things.
Oh yeah, and like one of the things I do, just like one of the things that like does like for my project, I really do like is even if I'm wrong on a lot of things about like actually it needs to be this, or this, or like I made some very bad assumptions, you can just take the data, copy it, and then rework it if it's still useful. You like the digital control is like one of the reasons why like I could do this because I'm like, well, even if I'm off by a lot, I'd still have a lot of motion like animations for whatever purpose. And that's that's why I like working with digital is that I make a rig and I can actually give you the exact same copy that I have, and I guess difference of mediums where there's only going to ever be one Mona Lisa, but to me I'm like that, if we could have 100 million of them, would that really make any of them worth less? And I'm like, oh, like as an economist, yes, but as a person, not really, because it's just like if you like the thing, you like the thing regardless of how scarce it is.
Absolutely. And so, David, next time you want to pop in,
Yeah.
if you can think of it, like I try to do this every month or so. Next one, or even if not next one, sometime down the road, if you can think of a way that you can guide me through your project in a way, because now I have the ability to use it, because last time I was using one computer that wasn't good enough, that didn't have the updated version of Blender, but then I have it set up now that I can show it on the most recent version of Blender. You don't have to do this. You can pop in. We can talk about whatever. But if you're interested,
I will give some thoughts to that. I will probably see what I can do of just like, okay, here's just the basic functioning version of like, here's what things there.
Yeah.
And
if you want to, you want to do it in a way like, I'll do it from my end because I got it set up so I can show it through Blender, and you can just guide me and show me exactly what you want to show me, how you want to show it to me, and where to go to download it, set it up, and all that. You're more than welcome to do that. And it was a pleasure talking to you and hanging out with you again. And now I'm going to move on to just working on, because I keep meaning to. I'm working on a basic project that I want to incorporate into every one of these Blender meetups. And you can hang out and you can suggest and work with me through this, but this is kind of more of a just an intro to anyone who's interested in like the who's just coming new to Blender and just going through how to create a project. And it's called Old MacDonald, and I'm just basically building a farm with animals and stuff. So you're more than welcome to hang out, and I'll leave you with the ability to speak whenever you want to speak here. If you don't want to, you can take off too. But yeah, definitely, I'm super interested in your project, and I if you can have like, if you come up with like a way that is structured that you want to just show it off and have it up for history and for one day as it grows, you're more than welcome. Just private message me, and if you have a specific plan, or just show up next time with a specific plan and we can go through it. So yeah, it was good hanging out, man. And then I'm gonna do this for about let's say 10-ish more minutes, and then that was Blender Edmonton-Blender-Artists meetup. And like I said, I'm just trying to build a farm with some cute animals, a cute little farm, and kind of show the basics of Blender. And what I've got so far is, a bit of grass, a bit of sky. We got a barn. We got a roof on the barn, and we got some pigs in a pig pen. And I'm trying over time. I'm starting off really simple and cute, and I want to get to a point of even showing off how to animate specific things. Like if we go down and circle in on the pigs, we might want to make a pig maybe move around, wander around, wag its tail a little bit, and is there anything, David, that you think you would suggest that we should do from here, from basically what you're seeing? What's the next step? Do you have any ideas? What would you add? Are you there? I can't hear you. Oh, I didn't.
Okay.
Hello?
My browser crashed, so that's what
Okay.
I had to rejoin. So what I think could actually, I'm not sure if you're on any social media or anything, but what I think could be very cool is to take this project and then like when you learn something in geometry nodes, replace it where like, okay, we've got this, like I assume the green is supposed to be grass. And then you'd be
Yep.
like, okay, here's how we did this, or like we replace X, Y, or Z, and just have a kind of as a picture things.
Yeah.
Maybe the full file, because I'm never sure on where sharing, like where the end results of sharing other people's, like if you learn a tutorial that's on YouTube and then share the node setup, is that like bad form or not? That's like I don't know, but just saying like, okay, here's the old McDonald's. We've replaced this with the grass from this tutorial, and here's how I learned how to do the wood. Here's how to do this, and like you could make it like, you've got this journey you're going on, and then be
Yeah.
like, just share the steps of this, and be like, oh, I think I could also use the wood or the the pen, and here's like, and you can always just kind of be very selective on the, okay, I wanted to do something with the water, but the fluid dynamics broke my computer, so I'm just going to pretend I didn't want to do that.
Yeah, no, I actually like that. And then you can break up. So what I've been doing with this is since the beginning, I started these streams, I've been building this slowly,
Yep.
maybe 10 or 15 minutes just live trying to build a little farm here. And I want to go further and further. And that's exactly the way I want to go is I want to start basic, go more advanced and to the point of animation, geonodes and all that stuff. And yeah, really cool to break it apart and have like this is geonodes, this is just basic modeling and all that stuff. I do anyone in the stream or anytime anyone wants this file, I can share it with them, and all that. At this point in time, is there anything you can think of that would show off some sort of basic aspect of Blender that you think should be added?
Well, you've got the, there are ways of making background things. There's like, if you look at the reference, there's grass around there, so you don't necessarily need to make the entire area grass, but you could just do it around the building, the perimeter of the building, and just talking about how to make the windows, I'd probably use the bool tool to just cut them out.
That's okay. Let's try that. So you're saying for the barn there should be a couple windows in the barn.
Yep.
So what I would do to that is I'd hold Shift and I'd right click to put the world center there, and then I would Shift A to add a. Would you use a cube for that, right? You wouldn't use a plane.
I'd probably use a cube because I'm not sure how
Yeah.
your barn is, but a plane in theory would work.
Yeah,
Well,
but a cube is probably better, I would say. So yeah, then you would I press 1 to get it. No, it's 3 to get 1. Shift 3. 3 to get right on the barn here, and then it's really important to use the numbers to get a perfect angle, and then I would square it about here, and then I press S to scale it, and then I press SX. SXY to scale it to make it a little wider, and then from here you can see that the cube is through the wall, and then I believe I would take the barn and I would go to a modifier, and I would add a modifier, and I would add Boolean.
Yep.
And then I would select this cube by clicking the little teardrop thing here and eyedrop thing, and I'd select the object, the cube.
Yep.
And then from here, you want to guide me through it? Sure, go.
I think you just take the cube and make it so that it's no longer visible. You just hide the cube, and then you'll be left with
Where is the cube? Why isn't it showing up here? Oh, there it is. Boom. And you got a big hole there. That's almost there. So we click the barn again. I think, is it union? No, it's
intersect.
intersect.
Oh, never mind. Never mind.
I believe the problem is I need to click the barn, and then I gotta Shift A, and I gotta apply all transforms. Did that work? No.
Sometimes.
So maybe it. So maybe it is. A plane would probably work better. So what's now
Think-
happening is it's only putting a hole on this part of the plane, and it's showing the rest of the cube. I think
Wait.
that's what's right.
I think like, could I see the? Could you switch to edit mode on the barn?
Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking that maybe that it was actually just a brick that was just painted, and that there wasn't. No, it's like it's actually got holes in your.
It's just a
Okay,
texture.
okay, yeah. I was just
Yeah.
making sure because like
I
the
believe
barn.
it's. I'm gonna go with It's actually the. Where did that go? So. I'm gonna back this up here. So, let's try it with a plane. And we're going to Shift A plane. And you can see the plane is that angle right now. So we're going to press R, X, and 90. 90 degrees. Sorry, that should be a Y. Rotate.
It happens to us all.
90 degrees. And then we're going to press 3 for a direct look on there. I'm going to grab it, press Z to go down. I'm going to press G for grab and Z to go down. And then I'm going to press S for scale about here. And then I'm going to press S and then X for scale to make it, or Y, sorry, to make it a little wider. And then now it looks like it's good. I'm gonna move it over a bit more here, and then now we're gonna try this again. And then first off, I'm gonna take this plane. And I'm gonna move it. So the plane, when you create things, you got to make sure you're in the proper layer. So I created it and it popped it in the little piggy layer. So I'm gonna notice that I'm gonna press M. And I'm going to move it to the barn folder. So now it's in barn. That makes sense. And if you go to F12, or F2, sorry, I can rename the object. And we're just going to name this barn window boolean. Just so we know. It's really important as you're building a graded project to have it all organized. And I'm saying this not for you, David. I know you know this, but I'm saying for anyone that ends up watching. So now I'm going to click the barn, and then I'm going to add a modifier, which is the boolean, and then I'm going to click the barn window boolean, and it's still not putting a hole in it. I think I gotta probably move it. X. If I tab in, what's going on here? Let's try this again. And we're having an epic fail right now.
It's I don't know what to. Maybe check in the little arrow that says the solver options.
What's that?
Like there's in the Boolean, there should be like down there. There's a little arrow that says solver options. Like there's a little hidden hole tolerance.
It's not working. Or maybe it's the actual. Let me try something. So maybe if I apply all transforms by pressing Shift A to the actual plane, and now let's try adding the Boolean again, and then if we
Wait, if you go to the Boolean, there are three little blue things. Could you put, like, you see there's a camera next to a computer, like on the modifier stack. You got, um, no, sorry, on the Barnes modifier, it's just referencing the queue.
I can't. Sorry, I can't. You're kind of chopping out there.
My apologies. Could you on the barn, on the modifier stack, there are three. Like there's the camera that's in blue, the computer. Could you make sure the geometry, like that one is clicked on blue as well? Up next to
The
Boolean, it's like at the top of the modifier. Yeah,
right up here.
Boolean. Yeah, see
That
there.
one.
Yeah, because that like makes sure that it shows an edit mode as well, which is like sometimes. And could you now click just H? Sorry. That is
It's, I don't know what's going on here.
giving
It's doing the same thing, right? It's like
very odd because like normally it just cuts a hole.
yeah. It's funny because we're
Hinge-
trying to like show people how to do this, and it's like
Just remember, no matter how there's always something to learn. Any chance I could save the file and I could see it, and we can then have that be the mystery, like the puzzle we solve for the next meeting.
there you go. 1 second here. Oh, cancel. Oh, actually, sorry, I shouldn't have done that. 1 second there. I'm going to. So when if you're sharing a file with Blender and you've used images for textures, it's good to go to external data and pack resources. So I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to share it with David. And yeah, we'll play with this next time. But the idea is it should put a hole in the barn. And yeah, we'll figure it out. This is good though, because this is what Blender.
This is what learning is,
right? No, yeah, and we need to teach each other, and we got to figure out what the problem is, and yeah, and that's the whole point. Anyway, link, copy link. So I'm gonna put this in the private chat, and then yeah, it was good hanging out with you again, sir, and I'm gonna get going, and
yeah.
We'll carry on with this next time. Do you see the link there?
Yep, I'm gonna go download it now.
Okay.
Put this into the big drive so it doesn't sit there. But I will see if I can post on meetup.com the answer to these riddles.
Yeah, cool. Absolutely, yeah. And we'll work on that, and then hopefully I'll see you next time. And yeah, it was good hanging out. And
yep. Good hanging out.
Blender is awesome. Cheers.
Cheers.